Hey everyone, this is Walter, and we're once again back here with more posts and stories I found on Reddit. Once again, we're here to talk about nice guys. But don't worry, they sure like to talk about themselves. The only thing that's really required is a virtue claim, something about how nice or good they are. So let's just get into it with nice guys from Reddit. These posts, as usual, come to us from Reddit Nice Guys. God forbid I'm gonna let any man or woman treat me like shit. Women better recognize that I'm a nice guy and give me a chance instead of not making me feel like I'm the reason why the relationship doesn't last past a day, week, months, or even years. Is this what I deserve for being nice to you females? I deserve to be loved too, enough taking advantage of me. Do y'all females know what I'm feeling, or are y'all just hating me in general? Bro wrote that on his Mickey D's lunch break. Yeah, and women always love it when you call them females, of course. Am I the asshole for being pissed at a girl for misleading me? So I work with someone, whom I'll call Denise. Denise is the whole package. She's smart, funny, absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. She's got a great education, and me and her make a great amount of money. I've had a crush on Denise from the moment I saw her. She was everything. We worked closely together for a while, and I was just ensnared. I dropped tons of hints that I loved her, telling her she was pretty, doing her favors at work, chatting with her all the time. I thought for sure she liked me back, because she'd invite me to eat and chat with her friends at work, and we'd have genuine, meaningful conversations, even talking about our futures together. She's also not shy about her personal life, talking a lot about her friends, family, and so on. I'll admit this worked out well for me, as I got to make friends with a lot of people, which is a first for me, as I've always been a bit socially awkward. However, one day her ruse fell apart. Her boyfriend came in one day and gave her her wallet, saying she left it at his place. My heart shattered as some of our friends came by to have a chat with him, and they'd even met him before. Apparently they'd been dating since before I started working with her. I get it, she was just stringing me along. I don't know if it's because she got a kick out of playing on a guy's heartstrings, or maybe she thought she could get me to do her work for her. The worst part was that she'd openly talk about this guy for months. She'd be like, "Oh, XXX helped me move my shelf last week, so it wasn't that hard." And everyone knew and kept it a secret from me that XXX was her boyfriend. I felt like I'd been cheated on and made a fool of right under my nose, and everyone in our team had been in on it. This guy is completely delusional. He finds out she has a boyfriend and decides it's some sort of a conspiracy against him. Why would it ever be? How am I one of half of the office who didn't know that she and XXX were dating? Because she didn't want to lose the benefits that came from me thinking I had a shot. I know what you're all thinking. Oh, he just wanted her for sex. Yes, sex would have been great, but it's not that. I just wanted her for her personality and mind. I'm not some creep incel. I spoke to her and calmly told her that she was a good person who did a terrible thing to me, and that she shouldn't mislead people in the future. I felt I handled it very well, but now everyone in our team is being cold to me and icing me out. Am I the asshole? I'm not a creepy incel. I just decided that I loved and was entitled to a woman immediately upon meeting her, and developed a frightening possessiveness despite never having a single explicit conversation, even hinting at any form of exclusive relationship, says the creepy incel. I felt like she was cheating on me. The audacity of this bitch. I know it could be hard to tell if you're dating someone, mostly if you're sleeping with them, but I have no idea how guys like this just make up a relationship mostly out of nowhere. There are some stories in the comments here. Let's read some. Probably some people who would think this is a troll, but I know a guy who was exactly like this. This dude had a crush on a barista, also manager. He would go to her place the days she was there, and started telling us that she was hitting on him. Like she flirted with him, she would be always smiley when he entered, etc., and he really told us, "We're starting a relationship." And when we asked him if he talked to her about that, what she thinks, he told us he never spoke to her outside of work, or even outside his order. He genuinely thought that they were dating by her taking his order. Well, plot twist, she had a boyfriend. When this dude learned about this, he'd go back to her work and talk to her about how she misled him and she lied to him and how their relationship wouldn't work. She was so confused and handled the situation the better she could, but still she told him to fuck off. I can't explain to you how painful was the cringe. He didn't stop, of course. He thinks that if he becomes a gym enthusiast, he would get girls, so he only talks about gym and how much weight he loses. My ex-friend started going out with him just to drink coffee and then bye-bye. You know, that kind of hanging out. Well, he tried to kiss her. She told him to not do that she wasn't interested and she loved someone else. He said he understood. Well, he didn't. He started to talk to a friend that she and I have in common, about how my ex-friend was a fucking brat that loves the attention of every male in her life, and she's playing with him. I got so angry listening to his audios, called him and tell him that if he thinks that just for being nice to a girl he's gonna fuck her, then no. That he was a loser and he has such a low self-esteem to the point he needs to go to therapy. My ex-friend grabbed my phone and told him a lot of things too. He blocked all of us, left a lot of group chats, and almost disappeared. We don't think he changed, but thank God he's not around anymore. The English was a little rougher than I thought on that one, but the story sounds familiar. You have to realize that baristas are supposed to be cheerful and they're probably not hitting on you. Lucas Werner couldn't figure that one out. Let's get back to the posts. Wish I had a girl to give chocolates and flowers to. But I'm too much of a nice guy to be recognized by any of the females at our school. They don't appreciate smart guys like me, am I right? Guess I'll just stick to my anime waifus. Ranting time. I think I've realized something about myself, and it has taken 30 years, basically my whole life, to get to this realization. People take advantage of my kindness and selflessness, especially women. Imagine the kind of evil you have to possess to be able to look the way you look. Hot, attractive, nice ass, etc., etc. Get handed anything you want. Guys waiting on you hand and foot. And you take advantage of that by playing with people's emotions like a sadistic little bitch. If she is going to smile at me and talk to me every morning when I see her, then she shouldn't act like I have 7 fucking heads when I ask her out. Oh, I'm sorry, she didn't mean to lead me on any. Okay, sure, tell that to your face every morning when you give me fuck me eyes. I wonder if it's a sport amongst women, who can lead the most guys on in any given month to win a trophy. And in result makes me look like a loser, an idiot, a desperate, pathetic man. When I am not that. I know my worth. I know I'm well endowed. And ultimately, if girls don't want me, then they can't have me. At least I can sleep well at night knowing I don't toy with people's emotions like some game. I know I'm a good person. So he decided to tell everyone on his social media that he's well endowed. That's nice to know. I have smiled at so many people this month and haven't fucked a single one. I plan on doing the same thing next month because I am evil. How dare you smile at men and say good morning? Don't you know how you're leading them on? Females always complain about not having a guy who treats them well, is nice, and is like a gentleman. But then when they get one, they always treat them like shit and use them. That's why I don't like being the nice guy no more. Do these real-life heel turns ever actually work? Another Joker origin story, the devil is shivering, and so forth. Fuck being a gentleman. Maybe I should be an asshole. Maybe I should start acting like I am more superior than women. And you know what? The people who say, no, bro, just be nice and sweet, don't know this game like I know. I was nice and sweet, and thought that eventually I would find a girl, but this is what a breaking point looks like. I am no longer going to take shit from anyone, because that's what I have been doing for 22 years. It's time to be a man. It only works if you have social status and the respect of other men as social proof that you are that caliber of individual. Manipulating women with positive reinforcement didn't get me sex, so now I'm gonna have to try manipulating women with negative reinforcement. There are clearly no other options. And 22 whole years, I guess that makes him an expert. That is how long St. Eliot could take it after all. But I thought women actually prefer competing for men? In my experience, women get bored with men who aren't attracting other women's sexual attention. Would you rather spend a night with a hot rich guy, hoping he chooses to be with you based almost entirely on sex, which he already gets plenty of and doesn't need you for? Or spend the rest of your life with a loyal but average guy who gets no attention from other women but actually loves you? That's the only real choice you have. From what I've seen, most go the route of hot, rich, one-night stand lottery ticket guy until they get sick of being ghosted or treated like garbage and realize that being loved by an average dude with no options is better than being pumped and dumped a couple dozen times by so-called alpha males. So-called alpha males. He's the one calling them that. I sure don't. Why is every man either average with no options or a so-called alpha male? Why can't they conceive of anything in between? Is it because then they'd have to make some effort to improve themselves instead of demanding that women who are out of their league settle for them? Yeah, so there's only 2 options in life for women. An interesting guy who doesn't give a shit about you, or a boring guy who's perfectly loyal. I didn't make the rules, of course, just letting you know what they are. That's it, blank. You had your chance, but you squandered it. I've been nothing but a nice guy and a gentleman to you. I held the door open for you every day, and for what? For you to stab me in the back? I deserve you. I've earned you. But you just can't help being a bitch. Doesn't matter though. I get what's mine. You can only push an angel so far until the demon comes out to play. I definitely thought this was satire, but check this out from the comments. Edit, this is not my post. I just copied the context from the guy who did. TLDR, I spoke with the girl that this dude was referring to. Turns out this isn't satire and he's a mega creep Nazi stalker. Context: I personally have nothing to do with this situation. I don't really know OP, the nice guy, very well. I don't think anyone really does. I don't want to be too mean or anything, but whatever you're picturing, you're probably pretty close. I wish I could tell you that I've never seen him wearing a fedora. I know that he is really into anime, and that's about it. Needless to say, he isn't the most popular kid in town. I also don't know the girl involved very well, but from our few interactions, I know that she's very kind and polite, so this Instagram story threw me for a loop. I messaged her to ask what this was all about and was surprised just how insanely stupid the whole story was. She has history class with him. She specifically noticed him staring at her, even from the first day of school, but she ignored it. Then, like he said, he began holding the main door open for her every morning. The concerning thing is that he was there every morning like clockwork to hold it open, then leaves for class pretty much right after. She noticed that his eyes would tend to end up wandering uncomfortably anytime she wore a more close-fitting outfit. She confirmed from other people that he shows up right before her as well. She doesn't know how because she doesn't always get to school at the same time every day. He tried a few times to make small talk with her during class, but every time it awkwardly revolved around anime. She is not into anime and has never shown any interest in this conversation besides general politeness. Also, it also became uncomfortably apparent that he has some very problematic historical opinions, specifically concerning World War II. With all of this, she had a conversation with the teacher. While it wasn't enough for any discipline, he did make sure they were on opposite sides of the class. She thought this would help, but it didn't. The teacher announced that the class had to find partners for a group project. To nobody's surprise, OP sprinted up to announce, not ask, that they would be partners. She politely declined, but it became scarily clear that he was not going to take no for an answer. He continued to demand that they be partners. It was a scary situation, and she had no idea what he would do if she continued to say no. Luckily, the teacher stepped in and found other partners for them. This all happened weeks ago. In America, we're all on winter break now. He ruminated on this for weeks, then eventually decided to publicly post this on his story. She's not sure how she's going to handle it yet. While it's obviously goofy and fun to laugh at, I understand being genuinely nervous if I were her. She's shown her family and probably going to end up taking some form of legal action. Edit: there have already been some developments to this story in the last hour. First, I received a Reddit DM from someone with an anime profile picture who was very angry with my post about him. We had an interesting conversation, and I will make a follow-up post with it. It definitely still falls under this sub. There are also rumors that admins at my school are pissed off that someone made this situation public on Reddit. There still might be more developments on that, so I'm going to wait a bit and see how that plays out. Anyway, expect a follow-up post on Monday. It's Christmas tomorrow, and I don't want to deal with this, lol. You know, I was actually able to find the original post, but the subreddit Cringe Pics apparently did not like it at all, and it's been removed. I don't think there's a whole lot else to tell, but they removed it on suspicion that the high school characters might be minors, which the OP says they're not. Oh well, let's read one more post maybe. I don't think we can be friends. I don't want to associate with shallow people. You've been poor your whole life, so you don't know what it's like to have money in the first place. You seem like a sweet girl though. So I hope you make money. I do. Plus I usually go for Caucasian women anyway, and I think I'm a bit out of your league anyway. Good luck, dear. Money isn't everything. When you grow up, I think you'll figure that out. Yeah, she rejected you, so you're out of her league. That's how logic works, right? All I said was that I'm more focused on making money right now so that I can live comfortably because I had a rough childhood. I guess he deemed me wanting to improve my quality of life shallow. Yeah, there was really nothing she could say that wouldn't piss him off, I guess. Well, that's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say about the stories or posts, make sure you let me hear it in the comments. I'll be reading those, at least when the video's new. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more of the same, and hopefully some other stuff like Russell Greer. I'd also like to thank my awesome patrons who've been supporting me more directly over on Patreon. I really appreciate it, and I'll be shouting them out by name very soon here. Yeah, anyway, I'll be back with more content soon, so I'll see you then. Have a great night, everyone, and make sure to hold a door or two open for women today. They must love that.